In today's session, we are going to look at how do you come up with a CV? How do you write a CV if you're a fresh graduate and getting into the job market? But first, I would want us to look at what is the purpose of a CV. A lot of time, when people are getting into the job search, they assume that a CV gets them the job. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The work of a CV is to get you the interview so that you can be able to present yourself in the best way possible, and then an employer can feel that you qualify for this position. So even as you come up with a CV, look at it as a marketing document, that will get you to the interview stage. And then from there, during the one-on-one interaction, you can be able to sell yourself. So when it comes to CV writing, there are various sections that you need to have, and these are the most important ones. So I'll start with the personal details. When it comes to CV writing, some of the personal details you need to indicate are obviously your name, and I would say indicate your full name as it appears on the ID. The next thing you need to have on your CV is the telephone number. And when it comes to telephone number, indicate your direct number and also indicate a number of someone who's closest to you. Say your brother, your sister, could be your mother or father. The reason why you have an extra number is in case someone is trying to reach you for an interview and they can't be able to get you. Maybe you're in somewhere where there's no network. It will be easy for this person to call the other number and say, well, I'm looking for John. I would want to invite them for an interview. So kindly pass the message. So when you're indicating this next number, just write in bracket your relationship. So if it's your brother, just say brother or sister, such that it becomes clear to me. Also, to include in your personal details will be your email address. And here I would say make it professional. So I always advise candidates, try as much as possible. You could have your first and the second name, and then you have a gmail.com or yahoo.com. Something we used to have in the past, but nowadays is not very common, would be the postal address. I don't see a lot of employers nowadays inviting you for an interview through the postal address. So at a minimum, those are the details to have. Now, when you're writing a CV for personal details, don't include your tribe, don't include your driving license. I see people also indicating English there. In the languages, they indicate English, they also indicate their mother tongue. Those really are not adding value. Unless, let's say, you've learned, let's say, French or Spanish, then you can add that, to showcase your difference. But basically, ID number, your tribe, those really don't add value. So the next part the next section to have in your CV will be the career objective or summary. This is very important in the sense that someone wants to have a feel. What did you study in school? So this is how you have a summary. You can say, I'm a graduate of business management, where I learned business operations and administration skills. And now I'm looking for an opportunity, let's say in customer service, business management, administration, operation. Just give someone an idea, And also maybe you can indicate I'm flexible and open to training. Because at this stage, I'm sure you really don't have a lot to offer in terms of experience. The next stage to have, or the next section to have, would be the education and professional background. So here start with the most recent and highest qualification. So to say if you're a graduate, you could have your BCom, then have the institution, then the years of study. So you could say BCom, Bachelor of Commerce graduate, University of Nairobi, upper class, or second class, or whichever grade you got, and then you indicate 2002 to 2005. So someone gives an idea. Then below that, you'd have, if you have a diploma or you have a professional certification, and then at the very bottom, you have your KCSE. Don't indicate KCPE. A problem I find with graduates, when it comes to education and professional background, is where they break down all that they studied, the units. No, don't do that. Employers already have an idea of what that degree entails, so you don't have to break them. It down for them. The next section in your CV would be the work experience. And here I'm assuming you've had some internship. So when it comes to work experience, how do you put it? I would say start with uh, the job title. So if you are an intern admin, just say, administration officer, then you put in brackets internship. Then below that, you put the duration. So you could say January 2017 to May 2017. And remember, you've already indicated it's an internship, so someone will not feel that that was a very short period. And then you indicate the organization after that. Then after the organization is to have to the responsibilities. And when it comes to responsibilities, just indicate the topmost 5. So you don't have to go again to listing 30 of the duties and responsibilities. No, indicate the 5 key responsibilities. Another thing you have to note when it comes to every job is to have achievements. So achievements, what extra value did you add to the organization? How did you go over and beyond what was required of you? So that's a simple definition of achievement. So I always advise my clients to have at least 2 achievements, and the best way to put it is in terms of figures, percentages. That's always really appeals to employers. So if you say part of your duties was filing and you saved the company some money, translate that into figures. Say, when I joined the organization, I helped the company save 20% of the costs. We don't want to know the finer details. Just say 20% of the cost. Or I introduced a new filing system, that led to saving of maybe every 2 hours in a month. So such kind of things. So achievements are really key because that is what distinguishes you from the other candidate. So when you're also indicating the work experience, if it's a current position, you indicate that in the present test. If it's something you did in the past, indicate it in past tense. That's the difference between the two. After the work experience, another section to have would be trainings. Have you undergone some specific trainings? Could be customer service, sales and marketing, training on soft skills. That's the next section to follow. And with the training, you indicate the title, you indicate the period of training, and also you indicate the provider, such that someone has all the details. If you've traveled out of the country, again, also that's something to put in there, if it was training, that is. After the training, you come now to the next important section, which is hobbies. A lot of people ask, are hobbies really important? I would say they are. Why? Because they give us an insight into the kind of person that you are. Employers are really interested to know over and beyond your qualifications, over and beyond your work experience. Who are you as a person? And hobbies gives us those insights. So assume I'm looking for someone with leadership skills, and I see that you are actually a leader in your church or mosque. So that hobby, earns you some marks. Assume you're a journalist, you're applying for this media job, and you've indicated that you have a blog that you update now and then on topical issues. If I can visit that blog and I see the content and I like it, that adds you even more marks. So hobbies are really important, but they only make a difference if they are relevant. I see people writing swimming. So unless I'm really looking for an athletic, really swimming, how does it tie to the position that we are hiring? I'm not saying it's bad to have such hobbies, but at the back of your mind, it's always good to ask yourself, this hobby that I'm listing, how does it tie into my profession or to the position that I'll be applying in the future? After now you are done with the hobby section, the last section to have is the referees. So referees, always recommended to have 3. Always list people who know you. Always share your CV with these individuals before you even list them. I've had instances where I've written to an employer or I've written to someone indicated as a referee, and they really have a hard time giving me information because they don't remember this person or they are not informed by this person. So who do you indicate as the referee? I would say at the entry level, have someone who knows you. Could be a former lecturer, Could be someone in the community who you've interacted with, and those people you worked with during your internship period or volunteership, or when you're volunteering. So these are the key people. And what information should you provide? I would say at a minimum, just provide their name, the position they hold in whichever organization they work for, an email address. Don't go putting people's personal mobile number, especially without their approval. Because nowadays, I mean, as your CV could land anywhere. So you can imagine if you've given out all these personal details of this individual, including the personal number. I mean, a lot of people can take advantage of that. So at a minimum, just have those details. If I want to contact them, a lot of times I also send them an email. Okay? Or if the mobile is very specific, then I'll request you to provide their mobile number. So there you have it. If you are struggling to write a CV, I would say those are the steps that you need to take, and those are the sections you need to pay attention to. So subscribe today to receive more career tips, and keep checking our channel for more.